Hey guys, we're going to do a reading. So we're going to read on the Cal City toddlers, Orrin, and let me make sure I say their names right. Orrin and Orson West. Okay, which was not their original names. They had different names before they were adopted. And big news, and I have read on the case before. If you want to see my prior readings on it, go into Tarot Reading and Current Events. I do always upload them to a thing. You'll be able to find them in there if you go backwards. But I did read on that before. And Trezell West, and I'm just looking at it on my phone, and Jacqueline West are charged. And it looks like, let me just go ahead and read it. I'm not going to go through the whole timeline. Don't worry, guys. Most of you, if you're watching this, you know the timeline. Trezell West and Jacqueline West are charged with 2 felony counts of second-degree murder, 2 felony counts of willful cruelty to a child, and 1 misdemeanor count of making a false report of an emergency. Now, so pretty much what came out, which was a big revelation, but they're keeping a lot of it tight-lipped. But it does seem to fit into something that I've been feeling, and I believe other readers were feeling as well. And that is that they believe that in between September 1 and September 30th, for some reason, that within that month, that is when the children were murdered. Okay, they say they have evidence, so we're not going to really know all of it until the trial. But of course, we're going to read on it and try to get some things. One of the things I did say in my reading, I can't remember if it's the first or the second one. I did 2 videos on it, but I felt that the toddlers never made it to California City. That they had moved from Bakersfield to California City, or Cal City as it's known, and I feel like that they never made it there. Something, just certain things that were making me feel that they were never there in the first place. And there's something very interesting coming up, which I want to look at in the reading tonight. I was looking at in one of the groups. I'm in one of the Orrin, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess up. I always mix, because they're so Orrin and Orson. I don't want to mess up their names. Orrin and Orson West groups. That I've been in that for a while. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it and everything. And somebody posted the paperwork, for the indictments and so forth, and the case against them. That there may have been someone involved. That they were forced to aid in something with the deaths of the children. What that kind of makes me wonder, and I'm going to look into on this reading, is did they make the other children in the home do something? And because that was one of the things that I was feeling in the read, and I believe I mentioned in there somewhere, is that I felt that the children knew something. There was something they knew, something they saw, and I felt like they were afraid of these so-called parents. But I feel the other children in the home, I feel they knew something, and I have a feeling that something like that is going to come out. But that's kind of startling that they could have involved them, like maybe in disposing of their bodies or something like that. Another thing I do want to look at in the read is, will the bodies be found? Though I wonder if there's, anything even left of the children and so forth. I mean, it's kind of, an unsettling thing. And of course, one of the things I'm going to look at is, will they be put, sentenced, put away, found guilty, and all that good stuff. That's one of the things I definitely want to look at. And so definitely a few things I want to look at. And I keep eyeing a deck. I want to look at something here before I start my layout. So this is a deck that I got. It's a crime deck, and I feel it's also talking about certain things also helped the case, but I feel it may further continue helping the case with some things. Social media may provide valuable clues. I feel some things with social media were helpful. One of the things that's really amazing about this case is just how so many people came out to help and stuff and keep it alive and buy billboards and post them everywhere and keep the children in the news has been so incredible and stuff. And that was something that the police definitely thanked for and stuff like that. Now, one of the things that is popping up in here, in this deck, another one, it says premeditated murder. Killer planned out the details in advance. Okay, so I know they're being charged with second degree, but this makes me feel, unfortunately, that there was a plan. There was a plan to unfortunately take these children's lives. So if you'll something, and and now one of the things about premeditation, I believe the legal definition, okay, is that even if it's, a few hours before, that's still considered premeditated. So I don't know how long or all that. I do have the card argument or fight is a strong factor. Okay, so there must have been a fight or argument with the children. And there is something that says contamination of DNA evidence may influence this case. So maybe something might, but hopefully not too much. But it does seem to point that there could be some DNA here. Drugs may be an important factor in the case. I believe there is some things in there that these guys had a drug problem. Okay, and maybe somebody was high at the time of something. Now it does also, well, this is probably a parent, but killer may have an item belonging to the victim. That makes me feel that they may have some kind of evidence or something that belonged to the children, maybe they had not got rid of, that may have some kind of evidence or DNA on it. Okay, so very interesting cards on that. So let's go ahead and inquire, see what Spirit has to say. This is a very sad case, of course. A very, very sad case. Of course, will they be found guilty? I sure hope so. I hope there better be justice in this one and everything. And, and I feel we all, especially with the interview, with him standing like this the entire time, that's a very closed off, right there, the body language. It's like he was trying to be smart and not say things in past tense and things like that. And so, but he didn't even check that the body language be something that everybody would know is very off and be a dead giveaway that there's something going on that he was covering up and everything. Well, really both of them. And in that interview, the interview, almost everybody is seen, they're all trying to back each other up and stuff. Let's go ahead and see what the cards have to say. But that's some very interesting cards to pull from that deck. I haven't had that deck very long. I don't use it very often. Okay, so we're going to concentrate on the boys. And yes, one of the things is, will they be found? That is a hard one, guys. That is a hard one. Oh, they're poor little... But I still feel that they never were even there. I don't even think they made it there. And it was just like in the interview, how the only thing he could say about them is that they were rambunctious, which is also a clue, part of the reason, probably frustrated, they're little toddlers and things like that, and that's what little ones are, they're going to run around, be happy, bounce around. You can't expect little ones to sit perfectly still. Okay, very curious what Spirit has to say on this one. Wow, this card is jumping. The very first card is wealth. This is something that I said in the reading kind of felt before, that, having foster kids, family, all that, I feel part of that, they were doing that was because of money. Okay, I do feel that was part of the issue here. Okay, that they were doing these things for financial reasons. Was a big part of having these foster kids and everything, and then they adopted and so forth. But I feel financial is a big part of the reason, and so forth. The magician, for me, for those who follow me, can be my symbol as a magician. What do? They can make things disappear. They can make people disappear. That is the opposing card, that the boys, they may disappear. So one of the things you want to look at is, can they be found? And so forth. That is the hard part. And they're going to try the case with them missing still. And cases have been tried successfully. So there's a lot, but as long as they have some good, evidence. But it sounds like they really, the police have really worked hard on this case, and they took their time. And see, that's the thing. When you see a case taking a long time, don't necessarily think something's dead in the water. They're just keeping it low because they really want to, have a good solid case with the best they got. And then the moon can lean to, this can be about confusion, and this could be about deception. There has definitely been a lot of that on this case. Definitely that they have been trying to deceive, and they didn't do a very good job. I think anybody with reasonable, some kind of common sense, found the story very bizarre. That they would just run out of the backyard and so forth, and how it was just, being in the backyard in December, it'd be kind of cold. What are they doing out there? Just some various things. But I got the swiftness card and everything, that it's just like, once this happened in December, everything just happened, it took off very fast, and so forth, with the energy and the momentum of this. I look at the world card and everything, and I really feel it's just kind of an example that, it's true, there were even people all over the world watching this case. This was a big one. And so, but I also kind of even look at the universe, and the world card can even represent the World Wide Web or the internet, and the connections, the social media, and everybody getting involved is a big reason. And also the cops did their good job, do not get me wrong, but also just everybody keeping it alive is a huge reason this picked up momentum and so forth. I do get the completion card, so definitely they will be able to close the case, everything, and all that. That is really good. Now I want to look at that. Let's look at that. So I've got the Prince of Wands and the Prince of Swords. They're sitting side by side. This makes me feel the boys. Okay, I believe the princes are representing the boys here. I'm not sure exactly. I wonder if the signs even match. I would have to look at their birthdays and so forth. But just young, youthful, little toddlers, just coming of age and everything. And they just, didn't have the greatest start in life and so forth. Everything really just centers around them and so forth. And let's put a card as the crossing and everything. But then we have the Knight of Wands, which is overlapping here. The Knight of Wands makes me feel Trezell, the adoptive father, and sometimes the Knight of Wands, one of the things they can have as it is a temper, and everything. So I definitely have that overlapping the boys here. That definitely he is really the key one here. I know the wife is also involved. I definitely feel she is a partner, I guess you could say, in this and so forth. But it is definitely his temper, and like I pulled the card, I do feel there's a drug problem in there. Okay, that is all mixed into this story. And we've got the Strife card, so there was some kind of physical altercation, fight, conflict that happened. Okay, with these, I feel a losing of the temper and so forth. But I do have the Sun, and notice the two little angels. Look at the two little angels on the card. That makes me think of the boys as well. But also the Sun can be, especially, it can represent innocence, that these children are just innocent and so forth. But also the Sun can represent shedding light on the situation. So once this goes to trial, I feel we're going to know so much more than we know right now. And so we've got this look at the foundation. We have the moon, which is about deception and also to confuse, to make things obscure. But at the crown, here comes the sun and that light, the innocence of the children and everything, shining light on the whole situation and becoming more awake and aware of what was really going on there. And I do have the Three of Pentacles, and this was, teamwork, team effort, all of these agencies coming together and working hard. This is, but it's not just even them, but just even regular people that were trying to go out there and look for them. Many witnesses, that were able to contribute. This is a major, major teamwork that caused this, which is really awesome. The coming together of so many for these boys. That's one of the things that is a beautiful thing. But I've also got that there's that defeat card. Okay, so that's good. So that makes me feel with the adoptive parents, they've been defeated here. Okay, I've got the cruelty card right next to it. They were cruel, with the whole thing with the situation with the children. I believe it's even one of the acts, acts of cruelty, I think is one of the charges, the cruelty there. But they've got that defeat card, so it looks good that they're going to lose in court, okay? So I do have the Seven of Wands, so I feel they're probably going to get a good lawyer, okay? Of course, some famous lawyer is probably going to pick it up, okay? And everything like that. I have the High Priestess, though. One of the things the High Priestess, the district attorney is female. I actually feel it represents her because they're going side by side here. They're going to have their own attorney, but I feel she's going to be really good. And I also, with that High Priestess energy, I definitely feel she's very intuitive. She's very smart, but she's also keeping certain things back. If anybody watched the news conference when she spoke, she's being very secretive, as the High Priestess can be secretive about things because she doesn't want things to get out about the case and so forth. Nothing to ruin it. Let's go ahead and the outcome card. So I do have the Temperance card that is popping up here. I feel one of the things that is saying also is, this was something that everybody had to be really patient for, as in temperance, divine timing. But normally what I get with the Temperance card is what we want to have happen will happen, in the sense, especially there will be a defeat. I've got the defeat card, which is good. It is in their position for their cruelty behavior. They're going to lose. But this one we had to be really patient on and so forth. I'm ending with the Ace of Discs here, the Ace of Discs. Let me kind of tune into that one. I feel this is going to be a tough one. I feel that it is possible. I'm kind of looking. I think of the Ace of Discs. I think of Earth and everything. And I also think about, because one of the things that's focusing on, one of the questions is, will they be found? Will their bodies be found? And I do feel they're somewhere in the earth. Definitely is kind of what I feel on that. I want to pull a clarifier for that. That is a little bit of a tough one. I do get the Wheel of Fortune. I have a feel there is a possibility that they can be found. That whatever, this is what I was kind of feeling. I'm really feeling something that the other, at least one of the other children, but I feel those children know a lot. The ones that are alive, the ones that were there, and I feel they may possibly know something about the location and everything like that. It's a possibility here and stuff. So there is some hope, and there is a possibility they could be found. Well, I don't feel that they're going to tell, because that's the way they're going to try to get out of this, of course, and they're probably going to get a good lawyer, is what I kind of feel. Seven of Wands very often can be, for me, the defense attorney and so forth. and and a lot of times they can be good and stuff. But I like that the high priestess that's next to us, what makes me feel, the the prosecutor, excuse me if I'm saying that wrong. The prosecutor is going to be pretty strong. I'm going to look at Lenormand. So with the Lenormand, I have the ring. The ring can represent marriage. Okay. So what I'm kind of feeling when I connect with that, that does make me feel both, the both parties involved, husband and wife. Okay. And stuff, I do feel both of them involved is one of the things that say. So I don't feel it's just him and everything necessarily. I do feel, both of them involved in that. Now she might be a little afraid of him. That is a possibility. But I still feel equally, as guilty. Now what's very interesting is I do have the crossroad though. The crossroad card is popping up. A road in the open reveals the best way. Choose wisely your path to avoid any dismay. Follow your dreams with faith and precision. All will be clear once you make your decision. So this makes me feel that between the two of them, I don't feel it would be him. Maybe with her, they may try to do something or work out something, and they'll put her at a crossroad to be able to say where they are. Because one of the things is everybody wants to know where they are. That they may try to offer her a little something, possibly a lighter kind of sentence thing, as she says where they are. But somebody, if it's not her, it could be him. But I noticed there are two people, so they could possibly see there's two people at that crossroad. Okay, you got to really zoom in. But I do notice here, I have a lady on the card, which makes me feel it's possibly that she may offer up where they are for something lighter. That is a possibility. Okay. And I do have, of course, the scythe, which can be definitely, to cut life. A scythe cuts bare, danger stalks too, of strangers beware, they can harm you. If nearby cards hold favorable view with swift action, you'll overcome too. I don't find these very favorable, except in the sense that we could overcome maybe a harsher sentence if we make the right choice with the crossroad. So I do feel it's a possibility. It's a possibility she will definitely be offered something, and she will tell where they are. I do feel they will offer something slightly lighter, not much. Okay. If she will reveal where they are. I feel with him either, now noticing there is two bodies in there, they may potentially offer him something. But I feel with him, I feel there is a certain arrogance with him, which result that I don't feel he would talk or admit anything he did. He would just say, nope, they disappeared from the back. I feel that's his story and he's sticking to it. That's kind of what I feel on that. So very interesting. So, but no matter what, they both go to jail. I got the defeat card right there. For their cruelty, they're defeated, period, in court and everything like that. But I do have that wheel of fortune that we may just luck out and be able to find their bodies. And that is one of the biggest things. That's the saddest thing here. Give them a decent burial. They suffered enough. Give them a decent burial. It's a sad case. But, at least, it is a very sad and tragic and senseless case. But thank God at least these people are put in jail. The worst thing in the world would be if they could go on, live their lives, and do whatever they do. And everything like that. That would be, the hardest thing. So at least we got the good news that they're locked up and the action is being taken. And I knew it was a matter of time. I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time, but it was going to take some time there. But the premeditation card is very interesting, that I pulled and stuff. But remember, premeditation, it could even be just a few hours, and then there's a plan and stuff. So this is not some accidental a type of situation here. That's one thing we don't, and it doesn't feel like a heat of the moment type of thing either. And stuff. It feels like somebody planned on this in some way. There's definitely a lot of planning, especially with the move and so forth. And then especially, to go from September to December, and because they feel they're very adamant somewhere in that time, this is when the children's lives were taken, that they waited, and then in December it said they were missing. There was definitely a lot of planning involved and everything, but it didn't go good. It didn't go good. So very interesting with this case. I'm definitely going to be following it hard and stuff. We should all follow it. But, I'm just glad that, people kept it, just like even when I was looking up, because I was trying to find some of the current videos, there was even videos just 1 month, 2 months. People have kept this going even on YouTube. The story, of the boys alive, talking about them. And that's really an amazing, beautiful thing.